Hi everybody, welcome back. So today we are going to talk to you guys about 10 tips for living in Vietnam.
So, if you're new to our channel, my name is Keegan.
And I'm Katie.
And we have been living in Vietnam for currently, how long? One and a half
years.
Yeah, so we made this video because we started thinking about some things that we kind of wish we knew before we came and things that we wish we knew when we actually got here. Starting with the very first thing, and this is actually right when you'll actually land in Vietnam.
Even before you land, as you're in the plane,
Yeah.
and you start to come down.
And this is prepare for culture shock. Now, everyone will say it before you come, you know, get ready, it's a new country, it's going to be a lot of culture shock. You don't really know what that means though, until you physically get here. What our experience was right when we are coming down in the plane, it was just a huge difference in what you saw, because you just see all these houses that are just layered on top of each other, and it looks so chaotic, and you're like, what did I do?
Another thing that we were kind of prepared for, but I had never experienced it before ever, was jet lag. Basically what they say is for every hour of difference, it takes that amount of days to get accustomed to the new time zone. So for us, it definitely took a while, and the first few days were very rough.
Yeah. All right, tip number 2 is bring your small necessities. These may be stuff like medicine or even food that you really need in your life and can't live without. Because once you get here, you'll realize that the grocery stores are very different. The fruits, the food that are here are very different from what you're used to back home.
Yeah. So these are things like, I don't know, my family swears by Dime Tap, which I'm pretty sure is a child's cold medicine, but it's obviously not available here. Even like Advil isn't available here. And
like stuff with food, like you can buy most of the things that you miss from back home, it's just very expensive. So things like quinoa, we brought a huge bag when we came back here. Maple syrup was also a very important factor, and it's very, very expensive here.
Yeah.
So it's like a gold commodity here.
Peanut butter, that was another thing.
Yeah, you can buy peanut butter here. It's just, it's more expensive. The cans are smaller, so just buy the thing from home and bring it with you. Tip number 3 is if you want to lighten up your load a little bit, you can get clothes made here. It's extremely cheap, and there is lots and lots of tailors, lots of fabric markets that you can buy fabric and get stuff made here if you want to lighten up your load a little bit. If your shoe size is above 10.5, I would say, like 10 and a half, bring enough shoes for you, because you can get them made here. It's a little more expensive, but if you're just trying to buy a pair of shoes at a Nike or something like that, they won't have it.
Tip number 4 is get health insurance. Our employer actually provides health insurance for us. It's part of our contract, so we're lucky that way. But other people who came with a partner who is not working for the same employer as us had to purchase it outside, and that is something that you must do.
We've gotten sick more here than we ever have at home, from like rashes to, you know, food poisoning to all that fun stuff. Broke my finger as well, that was fun. Click above if you want to see that video. So you don't want to be hurt or sick and then having to worry about the quality of healthcare that you're getting as well. Which goes also with the point that you need to find a westernized hospital here in Ho Chi Minh City, or in general in Vietnam. One that we go to often is called FV Hospital. There's a bunch in Ho Chi Minh City. I'm not sure about Hanoi, but nonetheless, we know they're a westernized hospital. They do a very good job, and they're very trustworthy.
So tip number 5 would be to actually buy a motorbike. A lot of people here, you can either rent or buy, but honestly, the best option is to just buy the motorbike in the first place, because renting it is you're not getting any money back when you want to sell it. The prices range from anywhere between about 300 USD to 700 for like a better bike.
Driving here is pretty dangerous. There are street lights, but people don't really follow them. So I don't care to drive, and I have no desire to drive. I'm good with being a passenger.
It's like water. It doesn't make much sense. You just flow with the traffic. Don't go too fast. Don't go too slow. Stay in the middle. Don't make any sudden movements. Also, when you're driving, the air quality is really, really bad, which leads into our next tip, which is tip number 6. Get yourself an air filtered mask. Now, this doesn't mean just like a regular kind of doctor's mask like this one here. This one isn't gonna do you anything. You need to make sure that you get an air filtered mask that has the actual filter built in like this. We use AQ Blue masks, and we've actually talked with the company and they've provided us with some masks to try out, and we absolutely love their product. They have like 3 filters built into the actual mask, which makes it super good for your air quality that you're breathing in, because breathing in this city is horrible. So you gotta make sure you get an actual air filtered mask. These are around like 30,000 VND and they last up to 30 hours. If you want to purchase one of these masks, we'll put a link down below where you can.
Our next tip is buy fruit and vegetables where you can at a local market or even just a little street vendor. It saves you a lot of money. Normally I would say they're like 1/3 of the price compared to grocery stores. As Keegan said before, there are grocery stores here. However, they are more expensive and you can get basically the same product, same quality of product on the street. It's nicer because you're helping out someone directly, you know who the seller is, and like we said, it's a lot more cost effective. But we would have like our dragon fruit lady who we go to, and she knows us, and like sometimes she'll even throw in extra something for free.
The next tip is make sure if you're coming to Vietnam, you gotta try some of the local food. That being said, you gotta make sure you're trying the right spots. A lot of these kind of street vendors that sell street food have just chickens that have been lying out in the sun all day, not properly refrigerated, and you can't blame them for that. You just gotta make sure that you're choosing the right spots. So one of the biggest indicators is if you see that there's a lot of locals at a restaurant or a food vendor, then that's a pretty safe bet.
Another important thing for living here in Vietnam is to make sure that you have a good helmet for when you're on a motorbike. You can find a lot of really cheap, really thin helmets on the street, but obviously they are not good and probably will not protect you. So you have a couple options that you could do. One is bring a helmet from home, which is what I did. I got a DOT approved helmet and luckily it fit in my checked baggage, and I literally have used it every single day that we've been here, so it's been a great choice.
If you don't have room in your baggage to bring a helmet with you, then there is the option here of a company called Andes, and they provide a very protective, and they're quite a legit business that provides you with a safe helmet that you can wear if you can't fit it into your bag.
Our last tip is try to learn as many Vietnamese phrases or sentences, greetings as you can. It just makes things a little bit easier when you're at the market, or even if you're just taking a Grab, which is a car service pretty much like Uber.
And it's fairly cheap to get some personalized Vietnamese lessons. And that way you're kind of branching off from the touristy kind of Vietnamese phrases and you're actually trying to get into a little bit more of the conversation.
That is it for our 10 tips on living in Vietnam. We hope you guys learned something, and we hope you're a little bit more prepared if you do decide to come live in Vietnam, or even if you just want to travel here and see what it's like.
And as always, thank you so much for watching our video. Be sure to click that like and subscribe button down below. Or if you have any questions at all about what it's like to actually live in Vietnam, feel free to comment down below and we'd be happy to answer anything you have. And we will see you guys in our next video.